will be right back. Uno momento, por favor. Uno momento. No. We already had fun time. We already had fun time. Enough fun time. It's mommy's time. It's mommy's time with her subscribers. I think I need to clean the lens of my camera. That looks foggy. Just cleaning the lens. If you're walking in, don't freak out. That's not any better, is it? My glasses? Might be my glasses. It may be my glasses. I know someone's talking to me, and I think that says, hey, Mel. I don't have my glasses on. Boy, oh boy, you know what I'd love to do? I'd love to get LASIK surgery so I never had to wear glasses again. Just saying. Let's get my eyeballs going here. Let me see who's here. Hey, Christina, what's up, girl? Are you going to eat while I'm doing my live? Because a lot of my subscribers don't like mukbang videos, Tobes. Toby Toberson. Roar! Leave me alone. Okay. I've done played with the pups, but they're like starving for attention because I neglect them so much. I neglect them. Hey, Janice, how are you doing? Motorhead City, North Carolina. You know what? I want to do, I don't know when, but I want to do a meet and greet in North Carolina when you guys open back up there. I want to travel up that way. Like, my bucket list would be to come up there and meet Dr. Westman and meet Casey Durango and meet Amy Berger. Another one, Kernersville, North Carolina. So I wanna do a meet and greet. I'm not like a famous YouTuber, right? So I doubt that a lot of people would want to come like do a dinner with me or anything like that. I'm not like big like Amy Berger or anything like that. I'm just a nobody. Just a nobody. But I'd like to come up there and meet a lot of people. Pennsylvania, Regina, hi. I've been to Pennsylvania before. It's very pretty up there. I went to a place called Butler. We went through West Virginia and we went through the New River Gorge. And that was really fun. We stopped and spent several hours at the New River Gorge. That was beautiful. On our way up to Butler, PA. My ex-husband's family was from Butler. And so when his mother passed, we went up there. And I was up there for about a week. I also went to Pennsylvania, but the other side, the Delaware side of Pennsylvania, I cannot for the life of me remember the name of the park that I went to up there. It was gorgeous. Brandywine. I have not been able to remember the name of that park for years, and then it would just like poof, Brandywine, that's what it was called. Butler is not too far from Pittsburgh. No, it's not. You know what I couldn't get used to when I went to Pennsylvania? Walking through the shops and losing my balance because like the floors are uneven. Because if the shop is on a hill, the floor is sloped. It's so weird, some of the older buildings. Janice. Hi, Janice. They're planning a keto retreat in 2022. I went to the one in Beaufort. The next town for me, I met Dr. Westman, Amy Berger, Jimmy Moore, Christy Sullivan. Oh, wow. Do you know where they're planning on having? I know I'm doing the keto crew. I'm not going to get into it with you guys. I'm not going to get political. I'm not going to get controversial. But if the keto cruise that I've had scheduled for May. I actually had it scheduled for 2020. It got canceled. I moved it to October of 2020. It was still canceled. I moved it to December of 2020. It was still canceled. I've moved it to May, to the keto cruise in May of next year. But if they require me to immunize, I don't know that I'm going to do it. So there's that. Let's just see. You just made Papa G's pizza because it's the best pizza crust and half the carbs for the whole thing. Everyone should check out his channel. Hey, Shannon. Yeah, I mean, thank you for sharing that. I know that a lot of YouTubers get kind of upset when someone comes to a live stream and starts promoting other YouTubers. This is kind of a chance for everybody to but if there's good recipes there and they are keto friendly, then I guess that would be cool. But I usually ask people not to promote channels or anything like that. So thank you for not posting the link anyway. Let's see, because I can get in trouble for that from YouTube. Okay, thank you, Shannon. Why can't I see you? Okay, so you're from Northeast. WI is Wisconsin. Is that correct? Did I do that? WY is Wyoming. WI is Wisconsin. You know what I need to do? I need to have me a big old map. And when I do these lives like this, I need to just put little pins in the map to see where everyone's from, to see where my subscribers are from. Janice, Beaufort, North Carolina, Beaufort Hotel, probably January. The one in 2020 was 3 days and we had evening socialization. Oh, Jackie Eberstein. I would love to meet her. You will let you know. Oh, please, Janice, please do. I would love to go. I would love to be there. CW, yes. So actually, I thought that, okay, so this was kind of like a silly thing. Back when I first started YouTube and I thought that I would be a popular channel, I had this dream that one day my channel would blow up and I'd have thousands of subscribers that loved me and that I would just like get like a van, like a conversion van, and I would just travel the United States and do meet and greets and meet all my subscribers. But turns out I'm not that popular. Not that popular. And I don't think, oh, thank you. No, Shannon, that's what I said. I don't remember seeing you on my live chats before, and I just don't know when someone comes in here and starts chatting what they're going to do. So that's why I said thank you for not posting a link, because sometimes YouTube sees that and they'll think that you're spamming my channel. And so I can get into trouble for that. And, you know, anyway, no, I have no problem with that. Thank you for sharing that. Janice, if they have it, you'll definitely be there. Yes, I want to go. Hey, girl. Hey. Hey, Kristen's in the house. Don't forget the likes, please. That helps my channel grow. What I've done, since this is so, my live videos are so off the reservation that I just demonetize them. So that way, if we end up doing music trivia and singing, I don't have to worry about the copyrights. I don't have to worry about anything like that. So if while we're doing this, if you want to have a little fun, if you want me to play a little ukulele, if you want to sing songs, whatever you want to do, we can do. But I do ask for small donations through Super Chat because I demonetize the videos so that we could have some fun in our Saturday Night Lives. Hi, B1 Snag. How are you doing? I don't believe I've ever seen you. What part of the world are you from? I tried to do that quietly. All right, we got 11 people here. I know I saw Dr. Barry was live. Maybe a lot of my people are over there watching Dr. Barry. I know that Bart K from the Meat Militia is live right now. I'm trying to decide what day of the week I want to do a live. It gives me a break from doing like the recorded, edited videos, and I can just be myself. We can hang out, we can have fun. Am I a cougar? No, I'm very married. My husband is younger than I am, but I don't consider myself a cougar. Um, I just met my husband. We were friends and I fell in love. It wasn't with the intent to marry a younger man, but I married a younger man. No, I am very faithfully and lovingly married to my husband. All right, Christina. Oh, that's right. Thumbs up, like button, everybody. Thank you, Christina. You know what, Christina, since you're on a lot of my lives, hold on, let me see if I can do this from here. I cannot do that from here. Why won't it let me do it? It won't let me make you a moderator from here. I need to make you a moderator because you're always on my lives when my other moderators are not. You try to catch when you can. Last year you won the sweet and hot. Oh, okay, Shannon. I thought I recognized the little white puppy pixel, but you know, I have so many people in and out. Thank you. Did you like that seasoning? I think it's excellent. I sent some to Keto Diamond and she loved it as well. I need to make Miss... Yeah, so always looking for moderators. So if you've been on my channel for a long time, we have a relationship. And I know I can trust you to filter through. You know what's acceptable on my channel, what's not acceptable. That's always a great help, especially if I start doing maybe a live every Saturday night, you know. I'm not sure where all my people are. Normally I have 30 or 40 in a live chat. Tonight it's only 15. Not sure what's going on there. Hey, Calum, how are you doing? Oh, I love them. I lost a pair of my earrings yesterday. I was so mad. But working for DoorDash, you have to wear a mask, and I guess taking the mask on and off, I must have lost one of my earrings. Earrings are my thing, right? I keep wickedly short haircuts, and I love them. As a matter of fact, I'm getting ready to make a drastic change, like go super cool punk rock kind of pixie. Change color, everything. I'm getting ready to, and the earrings kind of just give it that little feminine flair. I mean, I'm not trying to stereotype, but the hair is getting long. My hair is really getting long, considering how short I keep the pixies. Okay, but thank you, Kaylin. Thank you for the compliment on the earrings. So, this week, yeah, okay. Good night, Snag. Hold on, guys. We got to put Snag in timeout. He's being incredibly inappropriate. So basically, this is a family channel here. It's a very clean channel here. I do not discuss politics. I do not get into controversial subjects. I do not get into any nastiness, no sexual content, anything like that, because sometimes my family members that I respect, sometimes younger people, I have a couple subscribers that have younger children that are around when they're watching this channel. So we're going to keep it PG-13 and we're all going to be respectful of each other. Guys, I need a place to escape political crap, to escape all of the controversial stuff, to escape the hate. I want this to be a place where we can talk keto, where we can talk about like music, where we can talk about what our family's doing. We can talk about art. We can talk about plays, movies we've seen. We can talk about God. We can always talk about God. We can talk about all of those things, but I just don't want to have to deal with anything controversial. There's Rosio. Hello. And Blondie. How are you? Every time I see your name, call me. You can call me anytime. Rosie, moderator in the house. Yes. Rosio, yes, we have to watch out. We had one earlier. I don't even remember what his name was that was being highly inappropriate, but I put him in timeout, so I don't think he can comment for a while. He'll probably lose interest and leave. Yes, Rosio has been with me from the very beginning. Everybody's waiting for having a party. So how is everybody tonight? How's everybody doing tonight? Is there any subject you want to talk about? And it can be anything clean, anything friendly, anything uncontroversial. We can talk about it. Yeah, autocorrect is a bear. Do you know one time I wrote my boss something and it autocorrect and I did not proofread it? And I wrote my boss and I said, I love you so much. I don't even remember what I was trying to write. Good thing. Oh, we can talk about that because I'm going to go on a rant for a minute, okay? Seriously. I worked for the company for 22 years. You guys know that, right? I had the same, hi Bonnie. Oh, Blondie, yes, I love the ratio yogurt. So here's how we're gonna have to do this so that I don't get confused. I'm gonna tell you the story and then I'll go back and scroll through the comments, okay? So if you've come in, moderators, friends of the channel, go ahead and say hi to new people and then I'll go back and see who is on. Okay, so I worked for this company for 22 years. 22 years. I was an excellent employee. I never had a bad yearly review. I won probably 40, I'm not exaggerating, 40, 50 customer service awards above and beyond. I was always rated very high on customer performance. Never a discipline problem. Okay, so I know how the company works. If you quit before your retirement age, they take it personally. They take it really personally. Like their egos are, can't fit through the door, right? Their egos are just, they're egomaniacs. I told them over a year ago, you guys remember how stressed out I was on my channel? Because I was having issues with my heart and I was struggling being out in the heat. And I said, I just don't know how much longer I'm going to do this. What am I going to do? I'm 51 years old. I'm looking at trying to start a whole new career. What do I do if I can't keep working in the heat in Florida in summers with my heart issue? You know, blah, 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 blah. I went through all of the steps. Supervisor first. I'm struggling. I'm having a hard time. I'm not disabled, but I'm struggling. As a 22-year employee who is 50 years old and been working in the Florida freaking heat every summer for 22 years, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to do this. Their basic response to me was, we can move you to a desk job and give you an $18,000 a year pay cut, which I think has something to do with a little bit of discrimination from a disability, right? Right? If a doctor wrote me a note saying that I was on light duty, they would not be allowed to cut my pay, $18,000. But me, trying to do the right thing, I go to them and I'm like thinking, I've worked here 22 years. They respect me. They like me. I was so wrong. But anyway, so I told you, I get excited when I rant. I don't need the chipmunk voice because my sarcasm level, my meter is going up as we speak. It's just like, here we go, going up. All right. So I'm thinking I've been an outstanding employee. I've worked for them for 20-something years. They know I have a pacemaker. They know I'm a heart patient. For goodness sakes, they took me out of the office on a stretcher having a heart attack. So I'm thinking they'll work with me. They're cool like that. They'll work with me. They always claim to be the best workplace. They win all these awards for being the best workplace. So I go to them and I'm trying to be proactive. And I'm just like, look, guys, I can still do it. But I'm just wondering if maybe, because what they were doing last year is sending me out day after day after day after day in the heat. And first day, I would do great. Second day, I'd start feeling not so good. By the third day of 90, 95, 100-degree temperatures being out in it all day, I was really starting to suffer. Really starting to suffer. However, there was nothing physically that my cardiologist could do to deem me as disabled. And I don't want to be deemed as disabled. I wasn't asking the company for freebies. I was actually being freaking honest. I wasn't trying to work the system. I wasn't trying to get disability from them. I was actually doing the right thing. And I was going to them and saying, look, my heart can't handle this. I'm having palpitations. The heat, I'm overcome with the heat. When I get home, I have nothing left. Physically, I'm 50 years old, for goodness sakes, with a heart issue. You got me out there all day long in 90+ degree heat. So I was simply asking them if they could break it up. Nope. Had to make the numbers. We're behind on numbers, so you're going to be out there. And basically what they told me to do, they said, well, do you have a doctor's note saying that you can't be out in the heat? So I go to my cardiologist and I'm like, but I'm not disabled. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm not, and I'm not asking them. I wasn't asking them to make a permanent situation for me. I was just saying, June through September, during the summer months in Florida, I wasn't even asking. I'm like, if I could do a day in the field and then a day in the office, or a day where I'm in my truck, I'm in and out of my truck. I didn't even care what job they gave me. I just needed to get out of the heat for a day or two and then go back. So I wasn't even asking for a permanent accommodation. And once again, in my heart, I thought I was doing the right thing. But apparently what I should have done is gone to my doctor and lied and exaggerated all my symptoms, got him to put me on disability, and then drained disability like all of these other slackers do. But I'm not like that and can't live with my conscience because I'm not disabled. I can go out there and I can mow 1 acre of grass in 90-degree heat, but can I get out there the second day and do it? Nope. It takes me a day or two to recover when I physically exert myself in the heat. So basically, I went to them last year, and told them that I didn't know how much longer I was going to be able to do this. Their response to me was they were going to cut my pay by $18,000 a year and sit me behind a desk for my last 3 years of employment. Or I needed to go to my doctor and get my doctor to say that I was disabled, so they could make that accommodation without a big pay cut. But I would have been lying to say that I was disabled, because that same job, when it's 80 degrees outside, I can do every single day. It's when it gets up to 90-something degrees. That's when I start struggling to perform and to stay at a level that the 25 and 30-year-olds are at without heart problems. So they basically made me feel, how do I say this? I felt like if I pushed the issue any further that I would be retaliated against. And because I'm not going to lie and say that I'm disabled just to get disability, I thought to myself, well, I've only got 3 more years. I've only got 3 more years. But anyway, long story short, so you guys know what happened, why I left my job. Management's just out of freaking control. Out of freaking control. They got a head this big. I am surprised that they fit through the door every day. Their egos, like, oh my gosh, inflated egos. And then a couple of the coworkers, you know what kind of coworkers I'm talking about. The ones that will backstab anybody to get ahead in life, no matter what the cost. You know those. Any of you who've been in corporate world know who those people are. They're ruthless. I'm not like that. I'm very straightforward. I'm very honest. I'm not going to cheat the system. I'm going to do it legitimate and do it right. But every time I try to do it legitimate and do it right, I get screwed. But anyway, so my husband and I decided, because I was so stressed, that my cardiologist said that my atrial fib was on the rise. I was having more and more episodes of atrial fib. And the days that he said it was happening, it seems to be days that I was either very physically stressed or emotionally stressed. Atrial fib puts me at a high risk for a stroke. Does that make me disabled? No, it doesn't make me disabled. It just means that I need to find a way to reduce my stress. And I went to my employer to try to do that. And they basically made my life, you know what. So my boss of she was my boss, no, not 17, 15 years. She's retiring, 35 years with the company. I've known this woman for 22 years, and she's not the one that I have issue with. It's the person above her. I love her to death. I think she's an amazing woman, and I feel truly sorry for the way that she's been treated since this new person came in about 7 years ago. I have watched this woman age 15 years in the last 6 years. Stress level in our department, people that have been working for our company 25, 30 years are taking early retirement and getting out because they can't stand the job anymore. But yet HR has their heads so far up their rectums that they don't say, why are all these long-term, no disciplinary problem, excellent employees leaving so early? Why are they itching to get out? No exit interviews, you can guarantee that. Well, she's retiring, this woman that I love very much. And all of the retirees are allowed to attend her retirement party. They have been specifically instructed, I am not allowed. I gave them 2 weeks notice. I left on good terms. And they're treating me as though I got fired or that I was a discipline problem. It is blowing my mind. So right now I'm praying for this anger, for this animosity, for this stress. I'm trying to let it go. And I know that this is just the devil bringing this up, this situation. He's allowing me to hear about them talking about me at my job, my old job, just to try to stir those emotions that I was finally letting go of. Let's just put a pinhole in this balloon, right? Knowing that this is how I react. So I'm trying to give this to God and I'm trying to get through it. But what a slap in the face. What a kick in the teeth. And this comes from people who stand up there and talk about, this is such a wholesome company. We care so much about our employees. We do everything we can to enrich their lives. This is what they do on the camera and in the media. But I know the truth. I know the truth. I've had a little bite of that love, sweetheart, and it ain't the sugar you're selling. It's a bit sour, kind of like lemons. Just saying. I actually should have gone. Okay, let me go back to the comments. Sorry. That's the rant. Okay, let's say. Oh, that's insane. Yes, it is insane. You love the chip. Well, I don't know how to do that during a live. Sounds like they took advantage of the work ethic. Yep. But that's the way it is in life. That's the way it is in life. I mean, that's the way it was when I was a single mom. I will never forget this. I was a single mom and I had to have gallbladder surgery. I was going to be out of work for 8 weeks. This is when they cut you from one side to the other. I have a scar about that long along my stomach. You were in the hospital for 5 days. My daughter was only 6, 7 months old. And I was a single mom. I got no child support, 0 child support. And I went down to the food stamp office to apply for assistance. And they told me that I'd have to quit one of my jobs in order to be eligible. But if I quit one of my jobs, then I couldn't afford daycare. If I had one job, one full-time job that paid for my rent, my electric, my water, cable, groceries, blah, 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 blah. And then my second job just paid for the daycare and extra baby stuff, right? I got up at 5 a.m. in the morning, went to the donut shop. I served coffee, donuts, blah, 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 blah. Got the donuts ready for the next day. Yes, I made the donuts. Time to make the donuts. I was the donut maker and the coffee maker. And so it was just this little cafe, and that's all they had was like croissants and bagels and donuts, pastries. And so, and they made fresh donuts. It was called Dippity Donuts. And I used to open up. I have to get there at 4:30 in the morning, open up. I would serve from 5 to 11. Then the lunch shift would come in. I would go to the back from 11 to 1, and I would get all the donuts ready for the next day, all the batter, the frostings, make sure everything was stocked. And then I would go to my job at Kentucky Fried Chicken. Well, I went into the food stamp office to apply for food stamps, and they're like, well, if you quit one of your jobs, I was only making $22,000 a year working 2 full-time jobs. 2 full-time jobs. I was only making $22,000 a year. But I made too much money to get help, right? And I was only applying for temporary assistance. And I will never forget this lady in the parking lot telling me, this is what you need to do. This is how you cheat the system. And I'm thinking there's all of these people out there cheating the system. And here I am trying to be honest and I can't get help. That is what's wrong with this world today. You know what I'm saying? So much for the honest employee that goes to the employer saying, hey, I'm having an issue. And I'm not asking you to make a permanent arrangement for me, but I'm just saying that temporarily this is what I need. And employers are like, no. Unbelievable. Yes, there are many employees like that, CW. Yeah, you are just a number. And here's the sad part. This is why it's taken me such a long time, Bonnie, to get over this. Up until this new person started about 7 years ago, 6 years ago, I used to eat, drink, and sleep my work. I used to get there 30 minutes early every day and start work. And I was excited to start work. You know why? Because I loved my job. I used to feel like I was helping people. I used to feel like I was delivering like a level of customer service like up here. I felt like a professional. I felt like I was the top dog in my department. Why? Because I could go out there and do a commercial audit like nobody's business. Why? Because I took the time to go to school and study after classes and I aced all my certifications. Why? Because I felt like I was good at my job and I felt like I was appreciated and needed. And then this new person came in. And do you know in the very first meeting, do you know how this person introduced themselves? Hi, my name is so and so, and I'm just letting you know you don't have to protect yourself around me because I'm pretty raunchy. You should have seen the faces at that conference table, kind of like, what did she just say? How did she just describe herself? I mean, that does not bid a lot of confidence in a human being to say, hey, I'm a disgusting, raunchy person. Number one, at that point, I'm not going to trust you because you've just said you're raunchy. So are you raunchy in like a sexual way? Are you raunchy in your personal hygiene? Are you raunchy because you're deceptive, dishonest, not trustworthy? Like, where do we apply raunchy? Like, where's the adverb go? I'm a raunchy cook. I'm a raunchy person. I'm a raunchy friend. Like, where do we place raunchy? Right. This is somebody making 6 figures a year, introducing themselves as your supervisor as raunchy. Okay. And within a period, so the minions were hired in. Those are the employees that kind of work covertly behind the scenes and run across the street to corporate. And then next thing you know, new rules are being made. And our jobs just got more convoluted and more convoluted and more convoluted. And then it was like, I've got to make a name for myself. So let's introduce this technology and this technology. And they were trying to introduce technology to make our jobs better. And they made our jobs more complicated, more frustrating, more painstaking. But then it became a thing where they started, there was a time that the company I worked for trusted me to do the right thing because I had always shown them that I was trustworthy. But because we had somebody that was raunchy and not trustworthy themselves, they started keeping tabs on us. Like if we took a 31-minute lunch, but it was if we weren't done with our work, we were salary employees, and we were reminded that we were salary employees all the time. Your salary, your job is done when you're done, right? You don't work 8 hours, your salary. But if it was on the other topic, hey, I'm taking a lunch because I've worked 2 hours late every night this week, I'm taking an extra 15 minutes lunch, or can I go home 5 minutes early because my kid's got a soccer game? It was like, oh, you can't make a habit out of this. For goodness sakes, during Hurricane Irma, I worked 36 hours straight without a break. I was expected to man that phone and that space for 36 solid hours. You know what I got? I got 12 hours of sleep time. That's what I got. It's just like, oh, that place got so... You guys, I can't even share with you. Let me put it to you this way. I've got notebooks this thick and 2 other female employees that would back me. We could take this company down for a sexual discrimination lawsuit. Because there was a male employee there that was shown favoritism, and we would actually have to go do his work. Do his work. From a male boss. We were told to treat him with kid gloves because he was sensitive. I come from the old school. I don't tiptoe. We're all adults. We're all being paid to do a job. And if your just job description is the same exact as mine, I don't care what package you have in your pants. You and I are on the same level. Capiche? Capiche. It was bad. It was bad. You know what? That's okay. That's okay. God's got better plans for me. I just have to trust. I just have to trust that God's got bigger plans for me. He does. He does. Maybe his plans for me is just, Melanie, it's time to slow down. Maybe he knows things about my heart condition. Maybe he knows that 3 years from now, my heart condition may be at a point where I am disabled, like legitimately disabled. This is a degenerative condition. He knows my heart. He knows everything. He knows my future before I live it. And so maybe he knows, or he knows something's going to happen in the next few years. And maybe he's giving me this blessed opportunity to just chill, right? So I'm not, everything happens for a reason, and I'm just going to keep my faith. I'm going to keep my faith. Everything happens for a reason. But finding out this week that I'm not allowed to come to my boss's retirement party because I quit the company, that just shows you how egotistical they are. It just shows you how tyrannical they are. And it's not the whole company. So don't get me wrong. I love the company I work for. And probably 50% of the company that I originally started with, really amazing human beings. And I had opportunities at that company that I would have not had anywhere else. So I am forever grateful for that situation. But that lady came in 6 years ago and she just destroyed the place. I'm feeling so much bitterness towards her. So I really got to give that one to God, because you can't hold resentment and bitterness in your heart. You can't love God and hold bitterness. You can't do it. Can't do it. Can't do it. Oh, okay, Rosio, I'll see ya. Hope you come back soon. Hi, Jewel. How are you doing? Nice of you to come. I'm glad that you could contribute to the conversation. You must know the person I'm talking about. Maybe have a personal interest with them. Maybe you like them. Maybe you're raunchy. I don't know. Yeah. You're doing a little close, but you'll pop in and out. Well, hello. So what are we going to talk about tonight, other than the fact that that's what happened this week? Oh, I've been working for DoorDash. Yes, that's happened. Today was a fabulous day. I got my first order, I got a $12 tip. I was so excited. I made $100 this week working 3 hours. $100 working 3 hours. And I literally just drive to the restaurant. I walk in with my phone and say, picking up an order for number blah, 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 blah. They pack it up. I check off to make sure that there's that many items in the bag. I put it in my insulated bag. I put it in my car. And then I drive to the house. And then I drop it off on the porch, whatever instructions they leave me, ring the doorbell. Hi, have a good evening. And then I head back to town. That is literally the job I've been doing, and I made $100 this week. Debbie, it's outrageous. You aren't allowed to go to her retirement party. Yes, you have to work. Do it. It's hard for us. Yes, it is. But you know what? I'm okay. I'm okay. Don't you worry about a thing. Every little thing is gonna be. You know what? But here's the beautiful thing about this. Here's the beautiful thing about this. I have a husband who loves me, protects me, and although he doesn't treat me like a princess in a traditional sense, I am a queen in this house, right? He has given me the opportunity to be a stay-at-home wife, which I've never had this opportunity. And I gotta be honest with you, I'm probably gonna keep a part-time working gig, but my brain is also working and I'm praying. I'm like, God, where do you want me? Because I do want to do some volunteer work. I do want to do some volunteer work. I just want God to put me where I'm going to be best suited. And I got to tell you, what keeps coming to my heart is volunteering at the dog shelter. that keeps, I love animals. My husband's scared to death though. He's like, you cannot bring home another dog. Oh, Debbie, did you have a bad workplace experience? And so I'm going to go on another rant. All of these employers that are out there going, nobody wants to work, and they're blaming it on the government. Okay, so the government incentivizing people to stay home, that has a little bit to do with it, but let me tell you what a lot of it is. Stay with me on this. This is a whole circle thought process. We had an unprecedented situation happen in this country a year ago, a little over a year ago. And people found themselves home. And let me tell you why I feel this way. I spoke to another retiree from my department about 2 weeks after they left. And they told me they could not believe the stress. They didn't have any idea how stressed out they were until they weren't stressed anymore. They didn't know how horribly they were sleeping until they could sleep. They didn't realize that their headaches all of a sudden went away. Their high blood pressure started normalizing. All of these health conditions that they were having because of the stress that they were under. The only difference between them and me is they were over 55 years old, so they considered them quitting retirement. I'm 4 years shy of 55, so they consider me quitting. Whatever. Anyway, so there's a lot of people that last year, when they started working from home remotely, they started saying, this is nice. I'm not saying that everybody's that way, but let's break the population. Let's say that out of all the people sent home to work remotely, let's say that 30% of them loved working at home. They're like, I get to be home. I get to take my lunch at home. I get to throw in a load of laundry on break. They're like, I can go to work in my pajamas. I can sleep an extra hour because I'm not commuting. All of the benefits of working from home, and with the invention of remote working, when it came time for these people to go back to the workplace where they've got to physically get up and drive how many ever miles to a place where there might be people that irritate the crap out of them, to a space where they feel like bosses are over their head all the time. And now they're back to a routine where they're waking up an hour earlier, they're getting home an hour late, they're rushing to get dinner ready, they now have lunch expense, they have all of these expense after being home for 6 or 7 months and working remotely. They have decided, and I've spoke to a lot of these people, they've decided that instead of being the big corporate career making $70,000, $80,000, $90,000 a year, they took the pay cut because they realized how nice it was working remotely. I gotta tell you guys, I'm just being honest with you. When I did Poshmark and eBay for 7 months, and I made $8,000 doing it part-time from home. It was something I loved doing. Working DoorDash and Instacart. I don't have my Instacart card yet, but working DoorDash. I have literally been logged on to their app for 8 total hours. I've only been active 3 hours and I've made $100. Here's the thing. It's not as much money as I was making and the benefits, but here's the thing. If I want to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and work breakfast, I can work breakfast. If I want to sleep in that day, or my dogs have a vet appointment, or I want to go spend some time with my husband, or I want to have a nice breakfast with him on Saturday mornings, then I do that and I log into the app at 11 o'clock and I work the lunch rush. And when my husband's off racing and I have the whole entire weekend, if I want to work breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I can work breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I am not obligated to any specific amount of time of work. I can work 1 hour and make $30 and quit working, or I can work 17 hours and make $150 and quit working. It's up to me when I want to work. So I'm not saying that I'm going to make that much money every single time I work, but I'm just saying, let's say that I'm on DoorDash and I'm not getting very many orders, or the orders that I'm getting are sucking and I'm not getting good tips. Well, then I sign off a DoorDash and I open up my Instacart app and see what's going on in there. And if that's not it, I come home and I get on my Rev Recruiter. Rev, R-E-V, Recruiter is I'm an employee of Rev, where I just throw on my headphones and I listen to videos and I do closed captioning. And even though I only make like $5-6 an hour doing that, I am at home in an air-conditioned building with my dogs and surrounded by things that I love. And if I want to do it for an hour, I can do it for an hour. If I want to do it for 5 hours, I can do it for 5 hours. I mean, like, I think what people are missing here, what employers are missing here, is that last year's disaster opened up a lot of people's eyes. Look at how many TikTok stars were born out of working from home. Look at how many opportunities have arisen from conferencing. I mean, networking has changed forever. Employers have realized they can eliminate an office and have operators working from home. The technology is now in place. And when people are offered $17 an hour to commute back and forth to a job every day and beat traffic and rush hour and be away from their home and their kids and their animals and whatever, versus maybe taking $12 an hour but being home, sleeping an extra hour, I think people are reassessing what they determine success is. I think it's moving away from that 6-figure salary to 6-figure sanity. I just think it's a real thing that's happening. I think we're seeing a change in our culture. And I'm watching these kids in their 20s that are reinventing the way we look for jobs. They're reinventing the way we work from home. They really are. And people my age who have been out there in that grind, just killing ourselves, working our way to the top, are watching these kids go out and do DoorDash and make $500-600 a week. We're like, hey, wait a minute. So you're telling me you work for yourself, you set your own hours, you work whatever days you want to, whatever days you take, whatever days off you need to, and you're making $400 a week? I mean, think about it, guys. So I think employers like my previous employer, the original company that I worked for, was amazing. They offered me opportunities I wouldn't have gotten anywhere else. They took very good care of me, very good pay, very good benefits. They afforded me a life where I could set myself up for retirement. But some of what's happening right now in my life is due to the fact that I chose to, you know what I did? My very first year working there, as soon as I became eligible for 401k, I committed myself to do 3%. Why? Because the company did 100% to 3% match. So for the first few years that I worked there, I did 3%. And then every year when I got a 2, 3, 4% raise, I committed 1 more percent. And when I left there, I was contributing 15% to my 401k. That's how I can afford this, right? Because for 22 years, I have focused on retirement, like as far as my saving and portfolio goes. And I have other saving and investments. And then when I lost my dad, he blessed me. He really blessed me a lot that I could be debt free, you know. And so my husband and I decided it was time for me to go, time for me to come home. Let me go look and see what's happening. Sorry, I talked a lot. Hi, Barb. I quit making jewelry. People just, they can go on Wish and get something made in a China sweatshop for $2. They're not going to pay. I had so many people like contact me and they're like, I want a custom bracelet and I like the colors black and blah, 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 blah. And then I would order the beads. I'd spend $20, $30 ordering the beads. I would give them a price up front, tell them 25 bucks. They'd be like, that's great. That's a great price. I'd make the bracelet. I'd send them pictures. This is what I made for you. Do you like it? If you like it, we'll go ahead and send it. And then they'd be like, no, I really, you know, and so it just, people just don't want to pay for quality stuff. They don't, because you can go on Etsy and Wish and get it for $2. I mean, why would you want to pay somebody 25 bucks for a handmade beaded piece of jewelry? You know, so it just wasn't working out. I lost a lot of money doing jewelry. Okay, hey, girly, you worked the entire time. We were told we were essential workers. It came time to pass out the checks, and suddenly we were not heroes. We were not essential. Oh, gosh, yeah. You know, we were told we were essential workers, too. I worked through the whole thing. I never got sent home. They changed my job description, and sometimes I worked from home doing customer service related stuff, but I was a field employee for most of it. Debbie, you're right. What you're saying makes total sense. See, I think people have just become so politically just like they've got these political blinders on and everything has to have a motive. But they're not really thinking. And I guess because of what I've lived through in this last year with leaving my career, with starting my own business a couple years ago, with all of the fear that I've had of being let go at my job and discovering other ways to make money and deciding that I was really truly happy doing what I was doing. And the money stopped mattering once I found something that brought me joy, you know? And honestly, there's a lot of people that are now into the flipping thing, and so there's not a good market. I loved flipping clothing. I loved shopping. That's why I think I'm really gonna love doing Instacart, because I really like doing those kinds of things. Okay, Bonnie knows so many people that were more productive working remotely. Many of the companies are finding ways to make this work. Yes, it's less stress. I mean, let's break down the work office, right? You're commuting in the morning, which means that if you're going to work at home, let's say that you're someone that still dresses for success even when you're working for home. Let's say you don't wear your pajamas to the kitchen table to go to work. You're still saving yourself 15, 20, 30, for me, an hour commute every day. So you're getting to sleep in an extra 15, 20, 30 minutes, right? That's better for your health. At the end of the week, you're more energized. You have more energy. And instead of commuting home 15, 20, 30 minutes, you're home 15, 20, 30 minutes earlier, which means you can get dinner on the table at a decent time, which means you have time to go pursue hobbies, go to the gym, go swimming, take time with the kids, do a load of laundry, whatever it is that you do after work. And I think a lot of people, when they got sent home, were like, maybe money isn't all it's cracked up to be. So many work at home opportunities came available at the same time that all these workers were being sent home. And I think the reason you're not seeing these people go back into the workplace is because of the opportunities that became available. And let me give you an example. Today, while I was out doing my DoorDash deliveries, every flippin' restaurant I went to had a help wanted sign. Let's think about this for a minute. If I apply for a job at this restaurant, I know that I'm going to have a set schedule of hours. I'm going to have a set vacation time. I might have some more benefits, like health insurance and things like that. But let's be honest, they're only going to pay me like $10 an hour, right? I'm going to work anywhere between 5 and 8 hours a day. I'm not going to get to pick my days. Most restaurants make you work Saturdays. You have to work at least one weekend day, right? I can sign into DoorDash and I can make $10 an hour on DoorDash, and I only have to work a couple hours, and I get to work when I want to, and I get to go to work when I want to. You know what I'm saying? Why would I sign up to work at Taco Bell when I can work for DoorDash and deliver Taco Bell and do half the work? I don't have to deal with coworkers. I don't have to deal with a boss. I'm my own boss, on my own schedule, my own time. Why would anyone want to do that? I think they're going to find more and more people are leaving to find a career of their own. It seems retail, food, restaurant businesses are the ones that are hurting. Once again, I think that instead of these restaurants, I think they need to rethink their business model. I think what they need to do is they need to, in Florida, minimum wage is going to go up to $15 an hour. I think what they need to do is they need to reevaluate their staff. They need to reevaluate their staff. They need to say, hey, these people that have been with this company, they need to let seniority needs to matter. They need to tell that lady that's been working the night shift, the closing shift for 11 years, when a breakfast shift comes open, she needs to be the first one that's offered that shift, not the new person coming in, because those are the only hours they have available. They need to start treating their current employees better. Like, it really frustrates me to go past a restaurant that says sign-on bonus. Let's give bonuses to the people who are still there for their, once again, loyalty, right? But the companies are missing it. They're totally missing it. They're totally missing it. Hey, Rosio, thank you for coming back. Okay, hold on, let's see. Debbie, you feel for losing your dad, but you're happy to hear that he left you so you could become debt-free. You've been through a lot. With all you share, you deserve that blessing. Oh, thank you. My dad was amazing. My dad was really an amazing guy. Hey, Tom, how are you doing? Haven't ever seen you on one of my live streams. Yes, I see you. See, you agree with me. Rosio, there's so many teenagers out there that don't work. Restaurants are perfect for them. My 16-year-old left McDonald's when he was making $10 an hour on Lento bill. I really think the future of these fast food restaurants is going to be delivery. I really believe that that's what's going to happen. I mean, I really believe it's going to be legitimately like delivery is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I mean, I can go to a store and pick up 4 orders and deliver them to 4 different locations faster than those 4 separate people can leave their homes, drive to a location. You know what I'm saying? I think, see, if I owned a restaurant, instead of trying to force old business models on this new generation, I would be polling in the 20, 30-year-olds, and I'd be going, look, we need to reinvent the wheel. What do we do here? And just saying, pretend if I had a restaurant, I would be like, look, delivery is booming, right? Delivery is booming. What do we do to drive customers to delivery service? And what do we do to promote scheduling? How do we keep the food fresher longer? What menu items can we add that stay like soups and things like that, where we can get containers for them? What foods, what can we do to offer a menu that is more suitable to being delivered and is not going to get nasty after 15 minutes of being in a car? You know what I'm saying? If I owned a business, that's where my brain would be. I would be consulting with the young people and saying, where do you see this going? What's your vision for the future? And then I would be driving my business model towards that. Christine, it can become a vicious cycle if there's no employees in the fast food restaurants. Who will fill the DoorDasher orders? Well, I think in Florida, when the minimum wage goes up to $15 an hour, I think that restaurants are going to be able to be more selective of their employees, right? Traditionally, fast food jobs, and I'm not critiquing anyone that works for fast food. Fast food jobs in my generation, at 50 years old now, were starter jobs. They were literally, you were kind of expected to work for a fast food restaurant if you were in high school. My first job was at McDonald's. And I worked my way up from an employee to a shift leader to a crew leader, to a shift leader, but I never made management. But then I moved on to other things. I made more money as a waitress, so I started waitressing. But McDonald's, Taco Bell, all of these fast food minimum wage jobs were never meant to be a career choice unless you got into management. I think that these restaurants are really going to have to reinvent themselves. And I think they just need to sit down at the drawing board and say, look, this is the world that we live in now. This is the mindset of our new customer base, and that's the 20-year-olds now. This is our new customer base. How do we maintain our image, our logo, our history, but how do we bring our practices up to date? I don't know what that looks like. I'm just saying, if I owned a restaurant, those would be the questions I'd be asking. Yeah, and fast foods work with the school schedule. You work at a tiny deli restaurant and our boss says if minimum wage goes 15, she'll have to shut down. Yep. That's what as a matter of fact, there's 2 restaurants that are 5 miles from us that have shut down. They can't pay $15 an hour. They can't. It closed them down because they'll never be able, who's going to go out to eat for an $18 hamburger, which is what they'd have to charge for a hamburger if they're paying $15 an hour. Fast food is perfect for teenagers. Yes. Yes. Your daughter is a server at Olive Garden and DoorDash. She clears $1,000 a week. Yeah, these kids are out there hustling. They are out there hustling. Everything's gone up except the pay, all the food items, paper, plastic, styrofoam. Yeah. Yeah, and I have a feeling that it's just going to get really complicated over the next few years. Christina, your sister tried to do an online order for wings today, wouldn't work, so she went to Outback and they said they were short-staffed and had no one to do online. Yep. I mean, you've got to treat, and it's not even so much as about the pay. These managers have to know you've got to treat your employees with respect. You've got to treat them like they're valued. Once an employee goes from feeling like a valued employee to a number, you lose them. There's no loyalty there. Hey, Victoria, welcome to the show. Thank you, Debbie, for welcome. Hi, Nancy. Yeah, we're not even talking about keto tonight. How's that? Parking lots are packed because everyone has to wait because employee shortage. Yep. I mean, so I'm not saying that my what I just was talking about is the whole problem, but I think it has exacerbated the problem. Okay? So I think it's a really complex issue that has different elements depending on what you're talking about. Employers, I have been into some of these fast food restaurants and heard the way the managers speak to the employees. There ain't no way I'd stand there and let somebody speak to me the way that these managers speak to these employees in front of customers. You know, you can't blame these people for having high turnover. We've got some restaurants in our area that are notorious for always having new employees because the managers there are bad. And that is where corporate America has got to change. How about having a secret person? Like I know when I used to work at McDonald's, my big thing was I had to upsell because they would send what they called secret shoppers that would come through the drive-thru. And if you didn't say, "Hi, welcome to McDonald's, my name is Melanie, would you like to supersize that today?" You know, if I didn't go through the upsell process, they would take off points on that little secret shopper thing. When they came into the lobby, they would check the temperature of the food. They would rate me if I smiled at the cash register. You got a lot of nasty kids working at these fast food restaurants now, disrespectful little turds, right? And I'm not just being an old lady here. I have gone through the drive-thru and had this look at me. If I would have ever done that at any job I worked at, I would have been fired on the spot. These kids now showing up with big gauged ears and tattoos all over the place and piercings in their face and their makeup's all crazy and their hair's spiked and purple. I mean, like, that's the face of the restaurant. "Hi, welcome to McDonald's. Would you like that?" And then they still mess up your order. Thanks for the clown show, though. That was awesome. Yeah. So I'm just saying, like, if they would bring back, if these corporate places, if these, recognize your good employees. The problem is society's gone to where you can't recognize greatness anymore. Everybody has to be treated as equal. Like, I remember growing up and you really wanted to be employee of the month. Like, it meant everything to me to see employee of the month and my picture up on the wall at McDonald's for the entire world to see. I was proud of that. Now you can't do that, because if you do that, then little Shelly, she feels left out and her feelings are hurt. And you got to give her a trophy too, because she showed up today. This whole situation that we're in has been brought about by so many elements. You're no longer allowed to reward success, because if someone over here has not been successful, then you're leaving them out. You're isolating them. But I think that employers need to bring that back. Recognize your outstanding employees. Recognize the ones that are always being complimented by customers. Bring back pride in your job. Let's teach that. Can we teach that? Like, my dad taught me, no matter what job you do, and this is why I can be a DoorDasher at age 51 and not have any embarrassment about it. My dad told me, I don't care if you're a trash man, you be the best trash man you can be. I don't care if you're a dog pooper scooper. You do the best job you can do. And I was raised to do the best job I could do and always be respectful to my bosses and always try to be the best person I could be. Those values are not being taught anymore. You can look on the news every single night and see that. Thank you, Kim A. Welcome to the show. What do you guys want to talk about tonight? Because I'm kind of getting into a shady, political, shady subject, and I don't want that to be on this channel. I mean, my opinion is my opinion. And people have to realize that I was raised 50 years ago when your neighbor could smack your kid in the head for being a disrespectful crap. When your parents, if you could get paddled in school. You know, the best of the best were rewarded with trophies and certificates and rewards, and you didn't get trophies for making last place. It didn't count just showing up. You had to try. I think by taking competition out of everything, these kids, it's not their fault. They've lost. We were taught 50 years ago to be competitive, to use competitive edge. These kids aren't taught that. Oh, we're all equal. I know she didn't work as hard as I did for 8 hours, but she deserves everything I have. I would have never, you'd have been eaten alive. When I was a kid, if you had that attitude, you came to work every day to bust your butt. And you wanted to be the top. You wanted employee of the month. That was your drive. But that's just me. That's my opinion. I'm old. I'm not a boomer yet, though. So save it if you're like, okay, boomer. Bonnie, yes, recognize your employees if you do. Yes, good employees do not quit jobs. They quit bosses. That is a fact. I quit a boss. I didn't quit my job. Okay, Rosio, 19-year-old got a surprise 50-cent raise last week. Oh, nice. See, and how excited was he? How excited was he? Let's bring that back, right? See, here's the thing. I worked in a situation where I had a guy that came in, I tracked it. And not because I was being a Karen, because I was being told to mind my own business. So I had this guy that for an entire month I tracked. He came in 10 to 15 minutes late every single freaking day for an entire month. He called out sick, unscheduled, 3 different times. He dropped jobs on his routes like he wasn't running 100%. We had to go pick it up. The females in the office, we had to pick up his slack. But this went on for 7 years. This was 7 years. And I had had enough of him being treated like this and us not being treated like that, because I was missing something downstairs. You know what I'm saying? So I started tracking it for an entire month. Every day I would pull a report, how many jobs he did versus how many jobs the girls did versus how many times we were told to go help him do his jobs. He was allowed to bark at us, be nasty to us, talk foul to us, but we were directed by management that we were not to upset him. He was delicate. They used to joke in my office that if he ever got fired, I was the first one that was going to get shot. They used to joke about that. Everybody in the office knew he was batshit crazy. Sorry, but it's the truth. But they kept letting it go on. They kept letting it go on. And then when you go to the manager and say, I did 9 jobs today, he did 3 jobs. Well, worry about yourself. But oh my gosh, you let me come in the door 10 minutes late and I'm being called into an office told him that I need to be there on time. But he came in every day for an entire month, 10, 15 minutes late, and called in sick all the time. It was crazy. I was documenting all of it. Because I'm like, why are the females being held to a higher standard in this department than the males? So, yeah. I mean, recognizing good employees is really important. No, Bonnie, I did not catch Amy Berger today. I worked, and I'm also babysitting my grand bunnies. Elizabeth is on vacation for 5 days, and so I go over to her house in the morning for 2 or 3 hours, and I feed the bunnies, and I pet them and play with them, and I take them out on the porch and let them get some fresh air and sunshine, and then I put them back in the house, and then I go back at dinner time and I spend a couple hours with them, and I give them their evening treat, and I turn on the lights. I have a night light that I turn on for them and leave the TV on for them. And then, so that's what I've been doing. And then for lunch rush. So I wasn't home much today at all. All will be available. Yeah, I will rewatch it definitely. Kim, I'm killing you. I'm not sure where I killed you at. I'm not old. I'm a boomer, bring it. You know what though? We're hardcore, Bonnie. I used to tell my daughter, well, my stepdaughter, because you have to understand, my daughter's 31, so she was raised a little bit differently than my stepdaughter, who is 22. And I told her, and I said, if the power grid ever went down and Wi-Fi ever went down, you'd want to be around a boomer, because we know how to navigate without a map. We know north, south, east, and west without looking at Google. We know how to research an encyclopedia. I can even go into a library and I can tell you where books are kept based by the Dewey Decimal System. I said, we know how to can vegetables. We know how to preserve and smoke meats. We know how to fish. We know how to plant gardens. We know first aid, natural remedies. I said, you're going to want some boomers on your team if the grid ever goes down. You're going to want some boomers. Shannon says she's a stay-at-home mom and wants to make extra money. What do you suggest? I need to be able to take and pick up my daughter from school. Any thought? I'm doing DoorDash, and you set your own hours. It's really easy to set up. They send you a prepaid card, Shannon. All you have to do is have a valid driver's license, and then they'll do a background check on you. You have to sign some contracts because you are an independent contractor. And you will need to check with your auto insurance to find out if there's any carrier insurance that you need to have on your vehicle insurance to cover you for delivery driver. But honestly, you just you open up the driver app and it'll show you your map, and there's a button that says Dash Now. So let's say that you drop your daughter off at 9 in the morning at school and you have to pick her up at 2. So you drop her off, you go to the hot spot. That's where it'll show you on the map where the hot spot is. You hit Dash Now and they'll start sending you orders. And then you do the order. Most orders only take about a half hour. I've only had one order take me longer than 30 minutes. But every order you take, it gives you an option to make that your last order. So just because you chose to dash, if you need to stop to go pick your daughter up from school, whatever, you can pause your dashing and come back, do what you need to do and come back later. Or you can finish your dashing. There's no set hours, no set schedule. And right now I'm making on average about $10 per delivery. This week, I was logged on to the app for 8 hours. I was active for 3 hours, and I made $100. It's a great gig. All right, nope, Gen X. I'm Gen X too, 1969, so I'm not a boomer. I'm right there. I'm right there between Gen X and boomer. He was super excited. So were his parents. Oh, yes, yes. He should be excited. That's a big accomplishment. And we need to get back to celebrating our kids, right? Not in the way that we're celebrating them now, where we're coddling them to death. We are raising a generation of kids that believe that everybody should respect them, instead of a generation of kids that know that they need to earn respect and give it equally, right? Let's go back to old school parenting and raising our kids to be competitive, raising our kids to believe that hard work pays off, letting our kids believe that being successful does not mean that you're evil, right? Or that you've had a hand up somehow in life. Working hard to get what you want just means that you're working hard to get what you want. There's nothing underlying, there's no fine print there. He's delicate. No, Debbie, when I said he's delicate, they told me to handle him with kid gloves. That is their exact words. That guy ticked me off one day. He got in my face, and I'm standing there like this, and I told him, and I said, first, you need to step back. Now, this is before social distancing, right? This is before that. I'm like, you are in my personal space. It got ugly, and I got loud. I told him, I said, let me tell you about yourself. And when the accent comes out, you know you've done it. Because I was like, listen here. And yes, I get that animated when I'm upset. I'm like, let me tell you about yourself. Listen here. And everybody at work used to love it when I get wound up and go off like a top. Kim, you have 27-year-old twins who do not know how to without a key fob. Yeah, what was it that something happened old school with Liz, and she was like, what is that? You'll check that out. All right, Shannon. Yeah, go for it. Your kids couldn't dial a rotary phone. Yes. Tia, hi. You're late to the party. Oh my gosh, we've been on for an hour and a half now. He's the one who's umpiring a long time. Oh yeah, umpires are great. I used to play softball. Born in 69. Oh, I'm a December baby, Shannon. Where are you at? Hi, everyone. Hi, Lee. Yeah, I told him about himself. Right there in front of everybody. My husband jokes with me all the time. He's like, you are so unassuming. He's like, to know you every day and see you interact with people, see how you handle your temper and everything else. He's like, you would think that you're just like Mrs. Cleaver, from Leave It to Beaver. You're just like, hi, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. And it's not fake. But when you get me ticked off and I start, let me tell you something. Hold up. Wait a minute. He's like, he said, my husband tells me all the time, he's like, he irritates me because he says, you are so funny when you're mad. You are so funny. He's like, you're trying to be mean. He's like, but the way you do things so sarcastically, he's like, your sarcasm is spot on all the time. He's like, he goes, I don't even think you realize how funny you are. He's like, but he does. He's like, I make you mad on purpose. He's like, because you're just hilarious. It's a gift. Sarcasm is a gift. But anyway, what else you guys want to talk about? Man, we are solving the world's problems today, aren't we? You're 52. You had no idea what a key fob was until a year ago. You didn't really. You know what I didn't know, Shannon? Let me show you. This is a true story. It's a true story. I gotta find it first. I'm right here, guys. Just a minute. Oh. So, I called my husband in tears because the battery in my key fob went dead. Number one, I did not know that these had a battery in them. No clue. And I'm there and I'm standing in the pouring rain and I cannot get my car door open and I don't have an umbrella. And I'm like, I call my husband and I'm like, I'm locked out of my car. It's pouring down rain. I'm so good. What? He's like, well, take the key out. And I'm like, I can't. I only have my key fob. I did not know that that's what this little button was for. And that you actually have a key. I must have sit out in the rain for 10 minutes trying to hit the button and trying to hit my door button and nothing was working. And I called my husband just bawling, please come get me, I'm soaking wet. It was lightning, pouring down rain. He's like, just take the key off the fob. I'm like, what key? There's no key. This is not. I took a picture of it with the phone. I said, where the F is the key? And I got like, I'm sending him selfies like this in my hair. It's just like it's pouring down rain. I'm like, I'm going to die out here. I'm going to get struck by lightning. He's like that little silver button. He's like, push that button and pull your keychain. And then I did this. And I went, oh, that is the coolest key ever. I had no idea. No idea at all. Did you know that? Did you guys know that? That there's a key in there? Did you guys know this had a battery in it? I mean, like, I don't know how else my brain thought that this was opening my door every day, but I called my husband and I'm like, my cold door thing's not working. And he's like, well, use the key. And I'm like, there is no key. The buttons, I pushed everything. So now I know how to change a battery in this, and I know that I have a key. Yeah, technology is awesome. It's awesome. I love that commercial with that guy that says, if you printed out directions to get here today, you're in the right place. Because I'm like, I'd be there. I'd be in that group of people. But yeah, so next year in May, and I'm currently talking to the person that's organizing the cruise. I may be going, I don't know what's going on yet. But in May, I might be going on a keto cruise. And if I'm not going on the keto cruise, I'm going to wait to see if they're going to have KetoCon in either Colorado or the Keto Conference in Texas. I may go to one of those. Oh, me too, Nancy. I thought LOL meant lots of love. But I will never, ever forget my daughter texting me TYVM. And I'm like, TYVM, talk to you. Nope, that's not it. Tell you something. Nope, that's not it. I tried so hard because she at the time was like 18. And I know I'm a lot older than her dad. So I'm like, oh no, I can't seem unhip. I don't know what TYS or VM means. I have no clue. Turns out it means thank you very much. But she does that to me all the time. She'll text me like SMH, and I'll sit there going, smile my heart, send my house. But I found out that if you just type it into Google and say, what does this mean in text, that it'll actually tell you what it means. It's called the Urban Dictionary. I didn't even know that an Urban Dictionary existed until about 3 years ago. You just got a new car with a fob and didn't know that. Your 16 was a key start. Yes. Well, see, now you guys have seen me, and I've told you my embarrassing story about getting stormed on, so you knew it had a key in it. I started my car one day, unlocked it back, and went out to get in and freaked out for a minute. How am I going to get in? I thought I'll climb through the sunroof. Key inside the fob. Yes. Oh, Mel, I'm back on track. Day 14 carbs today. Yay! Way to go. I'm still like struggling in and out. Like I'm not doing anything bad, but I can't seem to like get my carbs under control. Today, I ate a yogurt and I ate a salad and it's like, and I'm getting frustrated, but I'll get it. Yes, trying to figure out their messages. Your kids don't use the letter thing with you. Good, Tia. Because, yeah, when my 21-year-old, 22-year-old texts me something, I'm sometimes going, what does that mean? What does that mean? Or she'll shorten a word like fam. Like she used to go, okay, fam. And I'm like, what does FAM mean? And she's like, fam equals family. Because I'm like, for a minute, because I was so proud, I thought I'd figured out that fam means for a minute. She's like, no, family equals family. Okay, hi. Is it Nick or Nisi or Nice? How am I pronouncing that? Spent years not knowing what SMH is in YouTube comments meant. Afraid to ask. Feared it was probably something vulgar. No, it's shaking my head. You need to dial down your portion sizes. You know what? I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there. But the reality is I know I'm backsliding. And it's like, I'll get there. You know, honestly, it was easier to stay on track when I had so much weight to lose. I just being honest with you, it was so easy for me. And I'm ashamed now to say that weight was my primary motivation when I first started this. And the closer I get to my goal weight, goal size, the better I feel, the healthier I am, the less I care about losing any more weight. And the harder it is for me to go back to weight loss. Like, I'm maintaining. I legitimately, for 3 weeks now, I have ranged between 183 and 186. I'm maintaining a 3-pound, like back and forth, 184, 185, 183, 186, 185. And I mean, there is something to celebrate in maintaining. I'm not gaining weight. I'm just not losing any right now. You had to go back to 2 meals. Yes. I may go back to that too. Hi, Bagus TV. How are you doing tonight? Well, guys, we have been live for an hour and 40 minutes. Hey. That's my mom. Hey, Mom. Everybody say hi to Mary Lawson. That's my mother. Everybody say hi to Mom. No, it's not hard. It was going down to the Hard Rock and having all that sugar. And I think it's just been being nervous about all the things going on. So yeah, Mary Lawson, that is my mom. I'm just not used to seeing her on my live chats. It caught me off guard. I'm like, I know that name. I love you too. I love you too. Thanks for coming to my live. I hope Michael's doing good on his race tonight. So I was just getting ready to say goodnight to everybody. But I want to thank y'all for your support, for being here. Don't forget the thumbs up, comments on the videos. They always help. They always help. But I went ahead and turned the monetization of my live videos off. That way we can have fun. We can just talk about whatever. I don't have to worry about copyright. We can just have fun. And if you ever wanted to support the channel in any way, if you go to my regular videos, my recorded videos, in the description are ways that you can support the channel. But I'm going to go. I'm going to take off now. And I hope you guys have a good night. Thanks, Mom. Thanks for watching. I love you. I love you. You guys have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow with another daily vlog. Good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite.